Вот эти, ну, потому что я твои.
Merle, you can start.
Sure. Greetings to everyone. Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking your time from your busy schedules. Also, those who are watching or joining online from different parts of the world. We warmly welcome you all to our meet and greet with the title, Women and Youth Working Together, Achieving a More Resilient and Sustainable Future, with the headline, What Can Women and Youth Bring to the Table to Support the Sustainable Development Goals? My name is Merly Suquila Blasque. I am a Spanish Filipino living with my husband in a beautiful Carinthian city of Villach here in Austria. I am the Women's Federation for World Peace leader in Carinthia and also Women's Federation for World Peace liaison to Austria and Philippines. Before I got to know the Women's Federation for World Peace, an NGO with very noble objectives, I was a campaigner for Philippine Jury International based in London. I would like to emphasize that we are now at this crucial time of history in which cultivating a culture of heart is necessary to build a world of love, peace, beauty, and goodness through interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universally shared values. Thank you. And now, before I pass the word to our president of the Women's Federation for World Peace in Austria, Mrs. Renate Amisbauer, who will introduce the first speaker, let us not forget the victims from the atrocities of wars which are happening right now in different parts of the world by offering a 1-minute silence as a tribute to them. Also, for those who are suffering from the devastation of environmental disasters, and for those who are in poverty. So 1 minute. So now I will pass the floor to Mrs. Renate Amisbauer, the president of Women's Federation for World Peace in Austria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Merle. Thank you very much. And I really want to say thank you to Merle, who initiated this program that is ahead of us today. I also want to say good evening, good afternoon, good night, good morning to everyone on this call. And we are very grateful to have all of you here. And we are very especially grateful to have the very official participation of the Embassy of the Philippines, Ms. Daryl Genuine Migano. And I really must say that from the side of the Philippine Embassy, we are always very warmly welcomed there. We have been there a few times also to greet the recent ambassador, Her Excellency Lourdes Bernas, and be connected with Merle Soquila. We had many events with Filipino ladies even in our own place in Seidengasse 28 in the 7th district in Vienna, but also visiting other places. And we always meet these nice, bright, shining ladies from the Philippines, so uplifted. So thank you, Ms. Migano, that you are here today. She is attaché of the embassy and the permanent mission of the Philippines in Austria and to the United Nations. And we kindly ask you for some opening remarks. Ms. Migano, the floor is yours.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those who are joining us in this virtual meet and greet organized by the Women's Federation for World Peace. Thank you for the invitation. It is an honor for me to represent the Philippine Embassy and Mission in this worthwhile event. The protection of children and youth is a major advocacy of the Philippine government and, of course, the embassy. In fact, this advocacy was highlighted during the 32nd session of the Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, or CCPCJ, in May 2023, in which part of the presentation of Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla tackles the government's works to advance the welfare of our children and youth, especially on the digital environment, the internet. Rest assured that the Philippine Embassy will continue to work with the WFWP in our joint pursuit of seeking the advancement of women, children, and youth now and in the future. Finally, I would like to share with you a timeless quote from our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, which up to this day is timely and relevant, that the youth is the hope of our future. On behalf of the Ambassador, Evangelina Lourdes Bernas, I thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Minano, for your Thank you very much for the cooperation that we from our side in Austria and also in the Philippines really want to continue and intensify. So now we want to greet Dr. Maria Riel. Dr. Maria Riel is the Women Federation UN Office Director in Vienna, from our office in Vienna, the director. Dr. Maria Riel also was the one who initiated and founded Women Federation in Austria. She inspired us all 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, to participate and to become members and to start off with the Women Federation here. And Dr. Maria Riel also is the current chair of the NGO Committee on Peace, a very important topic. And she's always finding interesting speakers who are helping to understand the conflict, to find conflict resolution. And this is a very important topic for us as women, as mothers, and as Women Federation as well. And also Maria Riel, she wants to give us some opening remarks. Maya, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Renate. I greet you all over the world, in many countries, even in Germany and in Brazil and in Philippines. I greet you from the bottom of my heart, from south of Vienna. I live now in Sebenstein, in countryside, and we are lucky that we have nice country, peaceful and small, and we have lots of agriculture, so we can feed our people, and we can share our knowledge with others. And we are very happy that we could participate in the constructive dialogue. United Nations are very much interested about work of civil society and life of the people in respective countries, and how to protect the forced migration, or even how to help people stay in their respective countries and invest their knowledge and their power in their homelands through strengthening the families. I myself also, I am now grandmother since 10 years, and I can support my children and grandchildren in their surroundment, to taking care, to take responsibility for the surroundment where we live. In this way, we want to support even governments, and we want to communicate and introduce our work on the grassroots level, that we can cooperate and work together for good future or better future for our children and grandchildren. thank you very much for joining us. And I am very much interested about the other project. We met young people from different countries at the United Nations, and many of them now participate. So listen to their project and to find out how they can work with our chapters in their countries when they live, and how through this cooperation some project can be supported and developed for well-being of every participant. So thank you very much and enjoy this evening and our communication. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Maya. So we see we don't have to go as far as to the Philippines, that the internet sometimes can be a little bit shaky. Thank you very much for your very kind words and also learnative words. Now we have on the list Mrs. Merle Christian Barlan, but she's on her way from the UN to a place where she can join us. So we will put her to the end, further to the end. And we continue with the presentations. People we have asked to give a presentation about their NGO, their initiatives. And the first person we'd like to invite to present about his work is Mr. Salvatore Petronella. We met him again like 2 weeks ago at the UN, and we were very interested about the NGO and the work he is doing. May I say something about your CV, Mr. Petronella? He is a migration governance specialist within the context of the EU and external dimension, with a special focus on labor mobility and smuggling of migrants. He acts as knowledge and influence lead at Labor Mobility Partnership, this is the NGO, developing proof of concepts targeting of EU member states, economies, and engaging with industries and international institutions. We were very inspired by your contribution at the UN, and thank you very much that you're here today. So we ask to share, and the floor is yours, Mr. Petronella.
Good evening, everyone from Stockholm, Sweden. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you for your kind word and for the opportunity to give us the floor in this, I will say, in a very friendly setting. You know, one thing I learned with my work on migration for many years is that those small settings are actually those that cement relationships and opportunities to cooperate further. So I really enjoy being here. We've been discussing also with the organizers of where our angle comes into discussion, the focus of your work, and we believe that our approach probably and the focus of our work is a bit different. But nevertheless, it can speak to some of the needs of youth, mostly also from a gender perspective. Very briefly, Labor Mobility Partnership of LAMP, as we call it, is a small NGO. We are a remote organization, so it means that we don't have any office. We just work from wherever we are. We are scattered in 4 continents now, mostly in the US, a few people in Europe, Africa, Latin America, and probably soon in the Pacific area. What we do is to design quality and scalable mobility partnerships for migrant workers. But the main reason we do that is not because we want to be part, let's say, of the migration landscape and so forth. We do that because we believe that migration is the best alleviating tool for poverty. If we look at the data from ODA, International Assistance Program, given for decades to poorer countries, to low and medium income countries globally, they don't reach the potential of agency independence, economic independence, and freedom from a difficult situation for people as much as labor mobility can do. I'll just give you some examples. If you look at the data of the whole donors communities of funding given to Africa, for instance, and then you compare to how much each individual moved into labor jobs from Africa brings back at community level, that goes 10 times higher, which means that migrants themselves, people, when they move, they can actually achieve much better results than the international community alone. So we have to change a bit also the way we work with the international community. That's why we think we have a mission, and that's why we want to cooperate with different voices. Where we see a very gender focus in our work, depending on the industry, is something that we're focusing on very much lately. It's care sector. The care sector, I mean, we have colleagues from the Philippines, for instance, they have been leading globally the how can I say, the establishment basically of a huge Philippine diaspora of skilled workers that are serving all the biggest economies globally, and they do that in a very good way, I would say, because they provide skilled and efficient services to people growing older in the richer part of the world. But they also do that keeping an eye on their own community, which means that, you know, the issue of brain drain is really at the core of their investment, and they do this in a very participatory way, I would say, globally, and also in a good engagement way with governments. We look at the Philippines, of course, as an example, but we have other examples in the world. Why am I bringing the example of the care sector? Is because specifically it's driven by, in certain economies, is mostly driven by migrant women, which they can increase the agency of their life. They can bring benefits to the community, but they can also help other women to become more empowered by this journey, but also other women to free up hours and go back to work in their own communities. So we're looking at the aged care as a I would say almost like a multiplier of empowerment for women. We believe that that's a very good example. Unfortunately, the world we live in is not only made of climate change, disasters, wars, poverty, but it's also made of two very clear aspects, which are always forgotten by the narrative of global leaders, but also our governments or communities. There are two things. One is that the richer countries are aging. We are becoming poorer and poorer in countries like Sweden, where I live, or I'm Italian, the country I come from, or Belgium, where I lived for 17 years. We are going to have a huge lack of skilled workers in the next 20 to 30 years. And if we want to keep the production level and the growth level at the current state, we need millions of people to help our economies. On the other hand, there are countries with high net birth rate, like Nigeria, or other ones in Africa, or other ones in Latin America, or anyway, so-called the global South, which benefit from a lot of help, the impact of which is hard to document sometimes, and whose youth is unfortunately bound to hit the unemployment wall. Statistics from the OECD, which is the leading organization of the richer countries, leading the discussion on economies, says that up to 400 million youth in the next 20 years are going to be unemployed in sub-Saharan Africa alone. So if we know that we need people to work, and we need to give a better future for youth, and this youth is not going to find a future in their own country, we can give them the opportunity to move and become agents of their own faith, of their own fortune and their own life. But this without forgetting that also the communities back home, they have to be sustained. And that's why we believe that there are some migration models which can help the discussion from the global development perspective. At the moment, we're building a few pilots, what we call proof of concept, as Renata mentioned correctly in the introduction, which try to bring together basically governments to discuss how to best benefit from this mobility scheme with the best intent, which is, again, poverty alleviation of communities back in the home country, labor shortages reduction in the economies of the destination countries, but also providing a platform for skilled workers to move freely. And here comes the bigger constraint which we have, and we all have to work together because it's politics and it's not working right. the main driver for international migration is labor demand. It's not smugglers who push people to move. It's not traffickers who push people to do certain things. Yes, it happens, but the main driver for international migration is labor demand. It means that there's an economic reason that is attracting people because they don't have any possibility. They don't have any opportunities back home. We can, of course, we should build infrastructures in the countries to achieve the goal of, giving the freedom of people to choose. Too often we hear that, help should be done in their own country because then they don't move. But we also have enough economists, that have shown that the more you earn on your growth in the home country, the more your attraction to migration increases, which means that the moment you pass a certain threshold of GDP, the chances to move is much higher than before. So the ones that are not moving, as they're very poor, the ones that are relatively poor, they start to move, and then later on, maybe they go back. But if we make the global movement much smoother, we will have actually much more freedom to choose, and people will not be forced to move, but will choose to move. I have the privilege that, I'm, European. I come from a good family. I have the freedom to choose. I could stay home. I could study abroad. I could learn languages. Well, this is not an opportunity for everyone, but as long as we keep our focus on borders, on fears, on clashes between communities, identities, the lack of integration, we're not going to go in the right direction. So we believe that those are just enriching our communities, depending on then how you want to play. You can play like the US, which makes migration as a fundamental part of the society. You can be like, you can have the European approach where the process to, citizenship is much longer or different. But just to say, migration is driven by economic reasons. Everyone has the right to have a better life. And if they cannot get it in their own country, they will try to find it somewhere else. So we have to help this mobility, because if we don't help it, someone else is doing it, and they're doing it like illegally. And they're doing it profiting of people, their vulnerabilities. They're doing it in dangerous ways, taking a lot of risks from the migrants, or taking a lot of profit. I'll give you some data, some details only from a research I've done for the UNODC last year on migrant smuggling, because I look at the two as like the flip side of the coin. Whenever you have smuggling, it's because you don't have legal pathways, or whenever you have legal pathways, you don't have smuggling. Take the Ukrainian example, refugees to Europe, and make the comparison with the Syrian crisis, so-called Syrian crisis, 2015-16. Well, the EU gave immediate right of residence to 7.2 million Ukrainian. You didn't have one smuggler bringing them across the borders, because you gave them a freedom to choose and a freedom to come. The moment you put the border and you lift that wall, then you created the smuggling market. So the smuggling market is created by our intention to keep the borders high rather than making it smoother. Also, a lot of studies of circular mobility show that the more you facilitate circular mobility, the more return it's easier, and the more people actually have a freedom to choose again. So it shows that globally, we should just embrace the idea of people moving around and people choosing to establish themselves whenever they want. And this can be a huge empowerment tool also for a lot of women that want to free themselves up from countries where they cannot express themselves, for instance, and find a better fortune somewhere else. Or for women with that migration background to build resilient communities back home when they return, with better skills, more international drive, more openness of the mind and their skills. So we think that alone we cannot change this, but with different actors and stakeholders and different voices, we can build a different and multi voices, let's say, coalition. At the moment, we're also looking for a number of vocal leaders of the global South, be it politicians, be it journalists, be it writers, be it singers, be whoever, someone that can have an impact on the local communities in Africa, in the Middle East, in the Pacific Islands, wherever that's needed in Latin America, to build a coalition and put labor mobility on the global agenda. There's so much attention, of course, and it should be on many causes. But we think that labor mobility has not attracted yet the right dimension. And also, since I know that one of the topic easily linked lately, it's the impact of climate change on migration, let me also reassure you and also draw a line there that this is not going to happen. One thing is environmental disaster, which are a hit shock of communities, and those should be helped with humanitarian aid, of course. But adaptation strategy to climate change, it's a very slow process which will take decades, and people are just moving mostly to the nearby communities wherever they can find their community. And this it's again a testament of the fact that people, when they move, they try to move as close as possible to their own communities, and moving far away is never something that one does just to exploit the system. They do it, you know, leaving a family behind, kids behind, the sisters and brothers behind, and they do it with a heavy heart. So let's really bring also this human face of migration also in our discussion. That's why I appreciate those opportunities. And let's not forget, again, a more mobile world is just better for everyone. So I'll stop there, and of course, if there are questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Petronella. I'm so grateful that you took the time. It's very inspiring, your viewpoints, and it's like filling a hole of things you think, but you don't really know how it really is. Thank you very much for your work and your investment, and I think we keep you in our loops of our communications and wherever we have give chances to talk and discuss or develop ideas. Yeah, thank you so much. And maybe if there's time for questions, then I'm sure there's some questions for you later on. And maybe, yeah, this reminds me, please, if you have questions to the speakers, put them in the chat. And if we have not the time at the end to answer, then we will make sure that they get back to the person you want to ask for some more details, and we make the connections with the people you want to have be more connected after later on when this meeting is also finished. So this brings us to our next speaker. So I don't know, did our colleagues from the Philippines make it? Miss Christine Rose Pulayo, I cannot see it because I see myself. Is Miss Pulayo here? Did the connection work?
Merle is here from New York, if you want to put her on.
Is she
Yeah,
it looks like they are,
What about
I think their
Mary?
power is not back yet, but I have the video.
Okay, so then let's move to Merle Palan. If you're ready now, would you be ready now?
Yes, I am.
You are. Miss Palan is a Filipino, has created many projects in her home country. Currently, she is the director of the UN office in New York. And so she will talk about both, about the projects in her home country and a little bit maybe share about the work in the UN. Merle, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for coming and taking the time. Bright daytime for you in bright daytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Renate. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning in some parts of the world. Greetings from New York. We just arrived from the peace rally at the UN, well, right across the UN, organized by the NGO CSW New York. So we had a very exciting energy there for peace. But yeah, I am tasked. I think I'm just gonna briefly introduce to you what we do um, here in New York, and specifically focusing on what I did in Philippines in the last 10 years, because this is connected to the video that Christine is going to show you. Yeah, the last 2 weeks, I I'm not sure if you have followed the high level meetings during the General Assembly, but we had an exciting weekend. It was called the SDG Action Weekend, and then there was the SDG Summit. The spirit of that was it was hopeful. It was hopeful. It was nice to see a lot of NGOs and actually government representatives, making their commitment to accelerate the SDGs.
But the reality of it is that the SDG needs a rescue. It needs to be rescued. And that's what the next 7 years is all about, together with the United Nations and the national and local governments and the communities. We need to work together in order to make that dream, that the Sustainable Development Goals alive and be realized. The Secretary General Gutierrez, he said that the world right now is facing 3 C's: conflict, wars, and climate change, and then COVID. But really, when just listening to Mr. Salvatore, I think we're past COVID, but more so in the reality of, at least from Philippines and where we live right now in New York City and New Jersey area. Migration is such a big problem, and so these are interconnected issues. And I feel that part of the reason why we are experiencing this in a midpoint of the SDGs, we realize and we're panicking, the SDGs need to be rescued, and that we need commitment from the political leaders, from the member states, to make good on their commitments, especially on funding the damage and loss, and also their commitment to the Climate Action Fund, $100 billion a year budget. It is because as much as the UN sustainable goals and the UN global agenda and the UN dream is such a noble aspirational dream, but it is lacking the understanding of the communities and the national and local leaders and community leaders. So Women's Federation, it's been our goal the last 10 years. I went back to Philippines to spend time in the communities to understand where UN was lacking and what was the weakest link of the UN. Why, despite of this 200 powerful member states with the brain and financial and human resources, still after 78 years still struggling and mired in conflict. It is because we lack the education and training of in the community, making them understand what the UN dream is all about and make them the co-owners of it. And so this video that I am going to show you is really for me a testimony of how, when non-governmental organizations, the national government, and the local government, when they understand that the UN has big dreams and UN invest financial and human resources and support and tools and knowledge that is needed for the people, all the stakeholders, to make the dream come true, then it actually will happen. But what I will show you is really just more on a smaller scale, from the community level, and because it's really deeply my experience of working together with visionary and passionate, brilliant young leaders in the Philippines, as well as with the support of the local government and the national government. We could do this. But yeah, this is something that with pride, I'd like to show that hopefully this can be a small, a simple formula that can be applied in communities and countries around the world. Thank you. And let me show you the video. Hopefully this can happen without a glitch. May I do the screen share, Renate, please?
You should already be able to, but I've got the video as well.
Okay. Oh, I could. Yeah, yes, I can. And all right. See if you can hear it.
Force your way to a crowd. grocery stores, and it's not even the holidays.
We don't hear it well.
You cannot hear it well? So,
We just see picture, but we don't hear.
Please say,
sorry, you can, the audio is not working. Let me,
Millie, I've
sorry.
already downloaded it. I can play it if you like.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you so much. Thank
Okay.
you, Lily.
If you stop
Okay,
your
let me-
screen share, please. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Screen one.
Have you ever fought your way to a crowd, shoulder to shoulder, trying to buy food in the
No.
grocery stores, and it's not even the holidays?
Sorry. Okay.
Or ever fought your way to a crowd, shoulder to shoulder, trying to buy food in the grocery stores, and it's not even the holidays? Or have you ever stood for the longest time in the longest line, just to get your gallons of water to drink, or fill your bottle with liters of overpriced gas? Well, believe me, I did. Over a year ago, we were hit by a super typhoon, and I can honestly say we weren't prepared for the effects. There were also fewer water sources available as a result of the total outage, and it could not have been worse because it was in the middle of the pandemic. We are experiencing an urgent crisis. Climate change is a reality of life. Real food insecurity exists. The real damage is being done to the globe as a result of people's disconnection from the natural world. So we need to regenerate spaces. We need to regenerate lives. This is Christine.
This is Ramar.
And this is Patrick.
We are the 10,000 Heroes United, and this is our journey to the 21st century Eden through our permaculture literacy program towards holistic and happy communities for a healthy planet.
In Bohol, this year, according to the Provincial Office of the Provincial Agriculturist, there are 700,000 families that are stuck in their lands without common plants. That is a whopping 51% of the population. In 2021, Bohol has reported that 26% of the households are below the food threshold compared to 2018's 21%. This clearly shows that the poverty incidence in the island province of Bohol has been amplified by the climate change. The onslaught of the recent super typhoon Rai, which was enabled by climate change, uncovered fundamental issues on food security, sustainability, planet healing, and man's lack of interest in innovative farming or gardening.
With these pressing issues in our community, we envision a revolutionary education of heart and character, a climate adaptation initiative that addresses them from the ground up, and that is through permaculture. Permaculture, in its essence, is more than just an agriculture practice. It is a lifestyle. It is living each day thinking, knowing nature, being one with nature, and working with nature, not against it. Permaculture is the linchpin. This is our way to build our very own 21st century Garden of Eden. Our goal is to raise leaders of heart and character, mobilize a critical mass of young people and families to advocate for the holistic well-being of people, and promote permaculture as a means of promoting ecosystem restoration, food security, and the regenerative healing of the planet. But extreme droughts, destructive wildfires, catastrophic flooding, deadly hurricanes, and widespread famines, all of which we are witnessing more frequently now, will no longer be rare events, but rather will become seasonal markers as predictable as the shifting of the leaves.
An alarming report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, indicates great seriousness of immediate action. About 90 climate scientists from 14 nations conclude that if humans don't take rapid, coordinated action to keep global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2040, the effects are irreversible. It's common to experience momentary paralysis in response to this scary news. When we finally understand what we're up against, the size of the struggle that lies ahead, it never seems like there is enough time, no matter how much we have. But the good news is that we have the climate solutions needed and that they work, and we need to start now.
Our permaculture literacy program is youth-led and the first in the province. This is our permaculture training center, which is 90% complete, which shall house aspiring permaculture trainees. Our permaculture program is a working model that can be used and can transcend to any type of ecosystem wherever you are in the world. The program offers an intensive yet flexible 6-month education course and the feedback-grounded skill sets in between sessions.
The curriculum is meticulously curated based on long years of experiences of the permaculture experts. The design and database are tailored to biomimic the biodiversity in the local ecosystem. We help you in recreating the 21st century Garden of Eden with the integration of earth citizenry, climate resiliency, and regenerative healing of the planet. Our young engineers in Bohol are also doing the Moonlight Solar Lamps project, which aims to address the critical need for the sustainable and clean energy solutions in the Philippines, especially in areas affected by the powerful Typhoon Odette in the Visayas and Mindanao regions. The project's primary objective is to provide solar lamps that can both illuminate homes and charge mobile phones, benefiting underprivileged communities and the youth in rural areas.
WFWPI UN representative in Vienna, author of the Moonlight Solar Lamp Project, Mrs. Merly Blaschke, together with the solar lamp innovator, Mr. Jess Juliano, met with the representatives of the Provincial Government Office of Pangasinan, Philippines. They met with Mr. Von Mark Mendoza, the Chief of the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, the Provincial Engineering Office, to discuss the proposed tripartite partnership between the WFWP Austria, 10K Heroes United, and the province of Pangasinan on the implementation of the Moonlight Solar Lamp project. Mrs. Blaschke and Mr. Juliano presented the completed prototype of the Moonlight Solar Lamp. The meeting was made possible by the gracious support of Ambassador Evangelina Lourdes Arroyo Bernas, the Philippines Ambassador to Austria, with the coordination of the Department of Foreign Affairs in the Philippines.
We are to conclude phase 1 of the program later this year with a community implementation. 12 families are to be mentored by the 12 trained permaculturists from the first cohort in creating their own small-scale permaculture garden. Each family needs a starting kit of at least $100 by the end of this year. And you, yes, you can sponsor one family and be a donor partner. Next year, we are to open the second cohort of this program to commence phase 2. Each participant can register with $1,000. 10% of that goes to a family you can guide in making a permaculture garden.
Presenting to you the implementing team, the hard-working trailblazers, the 10,000 Heroes United team. Together with the permaculture mentors, the Amaris family of the Regenesis Project, the founding sponsor, the WPUN office and Mr. Takinaka, and of course our key government agencies such as TNR, DOST, and the LGUs. Of course, to everyone who resonates with us in this way, we can be partners who work towards a singular vision and mission.
By 2025, our goals are to multiply to 40 new permaculture teachers and Permaculture Hub to be a leading learning site in the region. And lastly, institutionalization of the permaculture literacy education to basic and higher education, technical and vocational authority. It is amazing how the transformation of heart and character is also present. I realize that through healing nature, we can as well heal ourselves. Undeniably, we have met many problems along the way, but permaculture taught us to turn problems into opportunities.
Just like this ray of the sun, hope is beaming upon us.
We should take every chance we can to heal and protect our local landscapes.
Because at the end of the day, we have only one home, only one earth.
Between fear and inspiration, we chose the latter. Let's walk this road together. Reflected on your screen are our contact details.
Kamsahamnida.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much. Dear Melly, do you still want to say something? It's so impressive.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Palam, and thank you so much to the young people in the Philippines. Through their work, they're really giving such a sense of hope and prosperity, which can hopefully spread also to other countries. So whoever watches it and wants to know more, we can help with the contact and the cooperation in the future. We are always very inspired to listen, and I really must say this solar lamp program that was created and initiated by our dear Melly Soquila Plashke, who lives in Carinthia. It somehow came about in the Corona time because we discovered Zoom, and she connected us with the inventor who was living in Japan. We were in Austria, and the young people in Bohol, and we had 2 or 3 sessions, and they could pick up on this, how to make these solar lamps. Yeah. So now we're also waiting for sponsors, or hopefully we can find more sponsors that they can start off with this program on a wider scale. Yeah. Thank you so much. Also, thank you, Melly, for not giving up on this in the middle of so many other
Renate, just very quick. I just want to add a little bit, just very quick.
Sure.
Yes, this permaculture idea is spreading in Bangladesh and in Colombia and also Brazil. Just Dada, she's heading in that direction. But also here in Elizabeth, New Jersey, the formula of making the local government understand and introducing it to the community. This Saturday we celebrate the UN Day with a forum, and we have 2 state senators coming and assembly people and a mayor, and we're introducing the same concept to the local government. And so that is, we call it the UN Dream, the new UN Global Agenda for Peace. So yeah, I will send you an invitation. I'll post it here, and it's hybrid. If you can join us, I would be so honored. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really big applause to this project. Really. Thank you so much. So good ideas are not to be stopped. They cannot be stopped to widen themselves around the world. So now we come to our next young lady. who maybe she's picked up something on this project because she also comes from an area quite far away from here, from Nepal. It is Miss Sulva Yoshi, but it's so nice because she lives in Vienna now. She decided to come to Austria for 1 year, so we have a chance to get to know each other more. We also met her at the constructive dialogues about trafficking and human smuggling. And so please, Sulva, the floor is yours. Present your work that you did also in your home country, Nepal.
Hello, thank you so much, Renate. Warm greetings to everyone around the world, every participant here today. My name is Sulva Joshi. I am a licensed attorney back in Nepal. I used to work in, I have been working in an organization called People Forum for Human Rights. We basically work for the migrant workers' rights. We work in different strategies like doing legal research works, collaborating with other stakeholders and even governmental agencies. We advocate, we do advocacy, we do capacity building programs for the migrant workers and also to the governmental bodies. And one of the main working strategies of our organization is providing free legal assistance to the victims of foreign employment. Especially, we provide legal aid assistance to the victims, and we also represent them in the court of Nepal. Most of them are the victims of even trafficking, forced labor, and a few of them are from the smuggling. In Nepal, a government study documented 61,000 Nepalese and also around 10,000 children who are minor in forced labor over the past 5 years, especially in the areas of agriculture, forestry, and even construction works. The recruitment agents of Nepal, they promise those Nepalese who are looking for foreign employment that they will provide well-paying jobs, but then they provide the Nepalese with the tourist visas instead of the work visas and pay less than the agreed wages. And hence they fall into the trap of forced labors, exploitation, and multiple other forms of human trafficking. So we work to bring them back from the destination countries, and we also file a lawsuit against those agents and also those individuals who send the workers in such areas. And we also work in advocacy field. We work for the safer migration of Nepalese in the foreign countries for their employment. For example, we collected signatures. We did some signature campaign a few months back, and then we proposed our goal to the labor minister in our country, and then he started working on such a law, to implement such a law. And yeah, I had been working for the victims of human trafficking and other issues of foreign employment back in Nepal. Currently, I am in Vienna, in Austria, to study my master's degree. I currently study LLM in international law in the University of Vienna. I am here to broaden my skill and my knowledge. So I'd like to share my long-term goal and my short-term goal as well. My main goal, my future, lies back in the organization that I worked for. I want to work for the safer migration further, and I want to, excel in that area. And I want to work to combat the issue of human smuggling, because in Nepal there is no municipal laws on combating the issue of human smuggling. So I want to work on that sector so that the youth could travel more freely and with their basic human rights being met. And in the meanwhile, my short-term goal is to study well in my college, to do good, and also to work and to put my skills and effort that I have to work for an organization with a meaningful purpose. So yeah, that is my presentation for today, and it's my pleasure being here. I met Renate and Merle and Maria in the UNODC Constructive Dialogue on Human Trafficking and Smuggling of Migrants, and it is an honor to be here. I'm so glad that I met you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Sulva, for coming. Thank you for all you said. In a short time, you explained so much about your valuable work. And again, I must say, I was surprised when we sat next to each other. I thought she's a high school girl, but she actually is not a high school student anymore. She is older than that and so experienced young lady. I'm very happy that you're here, and we will meet soon and we will meet often.
Yes,
So I
yes.
think we can really have a good cooperation, because Women Federation is also there in Nepal. So it's not non-existing in that area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sulva. And so now we come to the next inspiring young lady. She is Sola Safi, Miss Sola Safi. She is originally from Afghanistan, but we met in Vienna, and she's actually spent her whole school life in Austria already. She left Afghanistan when she was a small child with her family, so all her family is also here in Vienna. And we met, so how we meet by coincidence, meetings. I was introduced to her by a very engaged gentleman who always wants to help the young people from his own country to somehow get to know people who could maybe help them in the future. We are very inspired about Sola, and she's also going to share about her perspectives upon life, because she has still many, many years ahead of her. Miss Sola Safi, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Renate. Greetings from Vienna. I'm very happy that I'm here. It's an honor for me, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and also giving me the floor to share my point of view. So first of all, as a global citizen, we all of us we have a shared responsibility, and this is the well-being of others. So we are responsible for our lives and also for the well-being of our society. And I also know that we have our everyday struggle, but it's very important to have a vision for in our life in order how to achieve a sustainable future. So for myself, I realized that life is a lifelong to achieve a sustainable future. A lifelong learning is essential. So continuously improving of our skills and our knowledge. We have to use the opportunities we have, and also striving for personal growth and self-improvement is very important in order to gain new experiences and expand our horizons. So I was born in Afghanistan. I spent my childhood in Russia, and I'm living currently in Austria. So I have some general points to share from a student's point of view. During my period of working for the Supreme Court as an interpreter for asylum seekers, I realized that it's very relevant to embrace and foster cultural understanding. We have to engage in the cross-cultural exchanges learn about different traditions and promote tolerance and inclusivity, because understanding of different cultures and traditions is the first step to achieve a common goal, sustainable future. And secondly, it's also very important to adopt sustainable practices in our everyday life. I had also this opportunity to join the Women's Federation for World Peace, which is also an honor for me. I took this step because joining an international organization, you can we can work on international projects together. Also, one of the important things is education. The education can empower us as individuals and also as communities, and making contribution to global development and peace. We in our everyday life through the whole world, we also see a lot of human rights abuses, and we should always speak against human rights abuses. We can use our voice also through social media. We should raise awareness about global issues, encourage positive change through our online presence. Even small changes can make a significant difference in the international community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear Sola. And I think for both these young ladies, a big applause. I'm so grateful that you take the time to share your views. It's giving us hope that the good things continue and that we can also cooperate, because we are not so far away from each other. So now this brings us again to another young lady who is coming from the Philippines, joining in from the Philippines, Mrs. Blessy Belle Ramos. Oh, you're here. This is nice to see you. So nice to see you. You're coming from another province, the Boyan La Union in Philippines, and you're the president of Youth and Students for Peace. This is also a very nice organization we cooperate with in different parts of the world. So please, Ms. Ramos, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much to Women's Federation for giving me this invitation. It's actually 4 in the morning in the Philippines right now. Yeah, so thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity by the Women's Federation for me to share. I would gladly first introduce myself. My name is Blessy Belty Ramos. I am the president of Youth and Student for Peace, Pilipinas, Bawang chapter. So, yeah, one of our programs in our province is first, it's pure love education in order to keep the purity of our youth in preparation for their future, or sorry, practicing or sharing true love to their family and environment. Second, we have the tree planting and cleanup drive every now and then. This is in partnership with the municipality or government in our province. Sorry, which can create unity and how people help our environment to become better, cleaner, and to save our Mother Earth, which will make not just us, but our future generations benefit as well. So if we clean our environment, then our future generations or descendants will have a very good environment as well, or nature. Because in our province, there's a lot of, we are filled with beaches. Yeah, so it's really nice. So we always clean in our beach in Bawang La Union. Yes. Next, we have this activity called, sorry, I have a cup. Yes. We have this activity called Regional Youth Assembly. We have this online. This is to educate the youth in the government which are called Sangguniang Kabataan chairmans or SK chairmans and SK kagawads. This is to influence them to become good leaders, to understand the conflict of our world, which starts from the relationship of the family and how our government should really invest and in educating our family and youth. Yeah, so it is called Regional Youth Assembly. Next, we have the newly activity in our province called Family Day, which is in partnership again with the government. This is to educate our children and the children. Excuse me, very sorry. Yeah, our children and our parents in a happy environment where we celebrate true love and to create a good relationship in the community and to resolve family conflicts. This is a one-day family event every end of the year. So it would be hopefully on December. Yeah. So that is the end of the projects and activities of YSP Bawang, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. Really, we really thank you for being up in the night. So we really wish you all the best and that you get healthy soon. Thank you very much. This is an amazing program you're doing, and this sounds really, really great. Thank you very much, Ms. Ramos. And now, yeah, because of the time running, we also need to move on. It's so nice to listen to everyone. And now my question is Miss Timana O here? She is the lady from New Zealand, so we're again traveling a long way. I don't know if she's here. She needed to bring her daughter to the school. And
she's on, but she needs to turn her video on.
Oh, okay. So she will also talk. She's a Women Federation representative, young representative of New Zealand. Hi, and so she will tell us about what she's doing and what is her inspiration. Miss O, the floor is yours.
Oh, hi. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Yes, as a mom, like the world, I have to make sure she's safe, getting to school and all. It's been wonderful listening to everybody this morning, and I'm so inspired by everybody's story. So my name is Tinmama U, and I'm originally from Burma or Myanmar. And I've been in New Zealand for 23 years, and I grew up here and have always been ambitious with our humanity, humanitarian work, peace, world peace, all of that. So being part of the Women Federation for World Peace, I think we really give the world a chance, led by the women in the world view. With our topic today, I believe, women and girls need to work together in order to bring a sustainable, peaceful world. I think that is very important in our modern world right now, because our life is very demanding. We are almost like a robot each day, waking up, going to work. And so not a lot of us has the time and energy to think about bringing peace and really being creative. So I think the leadership by women, especially to be creative, to be innovative, talking about peace, talking about our community development, starting at the grassroots level, the local level, regional, national, and then international. So for us as the New Zealand chapter, we are really, excited about it. We really look forward to implementing more programs that really bring our young girls on board, and also connecting with our women leaders from around the world who are, really active with their programs I'm still very inspired with our Philippine projects that are ongoing. They managed to create such sustainable programs. And so with the Madam President of our federation in New Zealand and myself, we are talking more about the type of programs that we want our young girls to learn and develop. And also not just focusing on us as a country. We are a beautiful, peaceful country, but also looking at strengthening forces in the name of sisterhood and see how we can collaborate more with our international communities. Yeah, so for us, it's a work in progress at this moment. In New Zealand, we are going to be more creative and we will lean on the support and guidance of our sisters from around the world. Yes, so that's all I need to share for now. And watch our space as we will be more creative in the future and looking forward to, contributing more from our little paradise of New Zealand, Aotearoa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss O. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for sharing. It's so nice to hear. I think Maria Riel, she has a daughter-in-law from New Zealand, so some of us are more connected with the country. Thank you very much. And again, giving a spark of hope and brightness into our world. Now we turn again back to Austria, and we have a young man with us today, which is I like very much. We don't know him so well. It is Mr. John Patrick Platzer. I know your mother. She is from the Philippines, Esther, and we had a beautiful project with perfume from the national flower of the Philippines. And with this perfume, there was some fundraising connected again for the project in the Bohol region. But we are very excited now to have you, Mr. Patrick Platzer, here with us. And I just had one name, an initiative. You created an initiative called the Soldiers with Heart. I like this idea very much. So we are very curious to listen now what you want to tell us about it and about yourself, Mr. Platzer. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Renata. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for the opportunity to share what my initiative is all about. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you out there. I'm John Patrick Platzer. I'm 35 years old soon. And I would like to share with you today a bit about myself and the project Soldiers with Heart. I was born in Jakarta, Indonesia, but my life's journey has taken me far beyond the borders of that place, of course. After my time in Indonesia, I went to school in Austria and I worked with the state secretary and later chancellor, Sebastian Kurz. In Austria, he is a well-known name. After I worked for the Corinthian regional government in Brussels, Belgium, I gained some valuable international experience. Later, I had the opportunity to work in the European Parliament, which further fueled my passion for political work. Today, I serve as the press and communications chiefs of the People's Party in Carinthia, which is part of the governing political party in Austria. And in this role, I'm responsible for the political strategic decisions, content creation on social media, organizing events and writing speeches for the ministers, including the federal chancellor, Karl Nehammer, when they visit Carinthia. So effective communication and organization are key to ensuring that these visits run smoothly. And on that note, I would like to replicate on Merle Barlan to the UN in New York. You definitely will be pleased to hear that my government, my state, our so-called Sustainability Coalition has been invited to present its government program at the SDG Dialogue Forum in Vienna on the 12th of October. And we received an award from the Ban Ki-moon Center, recognizing our pioneering role in the integrating the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals into policy and administration. With that, we were the first ones in Austria implementing the 2030 agenda. And yeah, the presentation of our government program is expected to encourage efforts in Austria supporting the SDGs and their implementation. In addition to my professional work, I'm also active as a reservist soldier. I serve as the information officer for the military command Carinthia. I also work as the military rapper, musician for the military music festivals. was heard in Germany and the United Kingdom and went viral on social media. So if you want to Google my name on YouTube, you'll find some rap videos, which is pretty funny, actually, this combination of military music and politics. However, today I want to primarily focus on my role as the president of Soldiers with Heart. So what's it all about? This initiative, Soldiers with Heart, is dedicated to making meaningful impact on the lives of children and teenagers in need. Our mission is simple but powerful: to support kids and young people who are facing difficult circumstances. We believe in making a positive difference in their lives and providing them with the support they deserve. In our journey, we have achieved some remarkable milestones. We have organized over 25 charity events in 4 years, all across Austria in every state, bringing smiles and relief on the faces of many young individuals who needed assistance. What's truly special about Soldiers with Heart is that you don't have to be a soldier to be part of our mission. We welcome everyone who wants to contribute and help us make a difference. Anyone can become a member of our organization, and every contribution, no matter how big or small, is valuable. So one of the most incredible aspects of our organization is that is the diverse range we have in our projects. These projects are made possible through the sale of unique military-themed patches. It's like you can see here on my chest. We sell them for 10 euros the piece, and the donations go directly into our projects. 100% go into the projects. So I'd just like to briefly highlight some of these projects. We had sleds for children from the SOS Children's Village. We provided sleds to bring joy to the children. Soldiers Burgers in collaboration with Burger Boutique. They have 4 restaurants in Austria. Televisions for Contraster Youth Housing during the COVID-19 pandemic. We provided televisions to offer entertainment and connecting during the pandemic. Kitchen appliances for the Odelian Blind Institute in Graz. We improved the daily lives of visually impaired individuals by supplying with kitchen appliances. Christmas aid for over 140 children in Tyrol and Salzburg. During the holiday season, we ensured that over 140 children had a brighter and more festive Christmas. And also psychological support for Ukrainian refugees. We offered psychological support to refugees from the Ukraine. And right now we collect donations for sleeping bags for young, unhoused and unsheltered people in Carinthia. Last Saturday, after a 2-month selection and nomination phase in Austria's largest newspaper, the Kronenzeitung, we secured the 2nd place in the Herzensvereinswahl, which translates to Heart Association selection. This achievement not only recognizes our dedication efforts, but also comes with a significant reward of over 3,000 euros for our ongoing projects. This is a remarkable win for us and a testament to the support, recognition that we with Soldiers with Heart have gained. And we try to give a positive impact to the lives of children and teenagers. And on that note, I would like to say thanks to my mom, first of all, for the opportunity to speak here. But I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to her, Esther Platzer, because I think her upbringing and instilling of Christian values have shaped me into the person I am today. And I love you, Mom, for that. Maybe I could say it in this. I hope you're not crying now. It's because of her unwavering support and the values she instilled in me that I find the strength to carry out projects like these. So thank you, Mom, for being my guiding light and for inspiring me to make more positive differences in the world. So in conclusion, Soldiers with Heart, under my leadership, is a heartwarming organization that has made a significant impact on many, many lives, over 1,000 teenagers, children, and individuals in need. We've shown that with dedication, creativity, and the collective spirit of giving, we can truly make a difference in this world. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Patrick Platzer, Mr. Platzer. This is so inspiring to listen to you. I'm so grateful because you're investing in the community in Austria. Sometimes we forget about Austria when we are so investing or involved with other people from other countries, but it's also needy children, needy young people are everywhere. Thank you so much, and so nice that you manage, talk about your
Mentioned
mother.
mom.
Mention your
Okay.
mother, because I was thinking, yeah, I know your mother is so lively and creative and always doing something for others. And I thought this spirit really passed on to you. So that you mentioned it, it's very nice. But you are your own person, and we also wish you good success. Thank you very much for sharing all this. Yeah, it's so amazing. What treasures! It is a whole screen full of treasures today. It's really, really beautiful. So now we come almost to the end. So I really must say, so thank you for Mr. Nuguli from Kenya, who has been being with us for 1 hour now. And now we made, but someone is the last to speak, Mr. Nuguli. We got him to know also the constructive dialogue in Vienna. So how important these dialogues are at the UN Vienna. And we can say thank you to Billy Batwa and the whole team of people who is really fiercely behind the dialogue among NGOs and with the governments. But even this dialogue creates this network of NGOs, because we would not know each other if these dialogues would not have happened. So we can really say we will write a letter to Billy Batwa and his team after this meeting. He could not be with us today because his schedule is very busy. So now we want to come to Mr. Mutuki Nguli. He is working in the Counter Human Trafficking Trust Fund. It is an organization in East Africa. He personally lives in Nairobi, which I'm very happy for, because we have a very nice and active Women Federation in Nairobi. Dr. Susan Kone, today she cannot be with us, but I'm very sure that in the future she will connect with you. And we are now very happy that you are here. I hope you're still here.
No, actually, Renata, he had to leave and just gave us the link to the web page, and it is in the chat, so you can copy the link, and this is what it looks like. It couldn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry, yeah, because it's 1 hour later in Kenya, so it's already almost.
The internet was unstable, he said, so.
The internet. He
The
was
message
at the
is in the
beginning.
chat. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you very much. I was so impressed because he's such an artistic involved person to help to prevent human trafficking and human smuggling. And so I was so grateful he would decide to join us. Maybe at another occasion we can be with us. I'm very sorry that we waited so long to ask him. Maybe we should have taken him before. Yeah.
Somebody has raised her hand.
Yeah. So then now we have to finish the line of all the speakers.
Somebody has raised her hand.
Yeah, someone, Blue Conduct, who are you? You want to say something?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I just want to share also my visions and my dreams, our activities here in the Philippines.
So we give you 2 or 3 minutes, because now
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that time. Well, I'm Miss Blue Condat from the Mother's Heart Network. The Mother's Heart Network is a project of the Women's Federation for World Peace Philippines, and um, I just want to share my uh, my ideas or my visions or what we've done here in the Philippines under the Women's Federation for World Peace and the Mother's Heart Network. Actually, attending the Women's Federation for World Peace leadership seminar really touched my heart with the mantra of living for the sake of others, and knowing the value of the living for the sake of others. I think it's my time to give back for all the blessings that I received from my childhood years until now. So I started the Mother's Heart Network here in Montalban by asking my mother, just like Patrick, he works with her mother, and I asked my mother to gather the women here in our community to start the Mother's Heart Network. So with just broomstick and dustpan, we started cleaning the community, and it's all started with that. The follows na po the other activities of the Mother's Heart Network, which affected the other barangays. and more people in our area. Like we had our medical missions, our Araw ng Kalinisan, Day of Cleanliness for the whole subdivision. And one of our major project is the One-Stop Shop Public Service, where we invited we invited different organizations, different government agencies like the SSS Social Security System, the Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, and the Philippine Cancer Society to give their service at the grassroots or within the barangay instead of the people from the barangay going to the government agencies. So we asked them to reach out to us by them going to our barangay. And we cater almost 1,000 individuals for the public service. And as of today, the Mother's Heart Network is still continuously sharing their uh, skills and talents to different mothers here in our community. We had our hydroponics gardening, which one of our members, the one who facilitated the training for the hydroponics gardening. Also, we have the budget 101, which we call Wise na Misis or Wise Mother, where we gather different mothers in the community and teach them how to uh, start budgeting for for the salaries that they only have or the money which their husband gave them. And uh, with that, the Women's Federation for World Peace Philippines recognizes the effort of the Mother's Heart Network here in Montalban. And as of now po, I was appointed as the Public Relation Officer of the Women's Federation for World Peace Philippines. And I am facilitating the Global Women Peace Network project here in the Philippines, which we launched just last August. And we will have the culminating activity of the Global Women Peace Network this October 31. So, one thing that I want to share with you, which I learned from all of this that I experienced with with the Mother's Heart Network and the Women's Federation for World Peace, is that having the support of our family is very important. We may have various dreams, we may have big dreams and visions, but if our family won't really support us, it will be very hard for us. Just like what I always say to the members of the Mother's Heart Network, we may have visions, we may have good dreams, we may have very nice plan for the community, but doing it alone would be very hard. But having them together as one family will make it easy. Having other women with the same mindset and the same vision will make things easier. So I am so grateful also to my mother who helped me initiate everything here for the Mother's Heart Network. And now she's still with me, supporting me all the way for the activities of the Mother's Heart Network. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Ma'am Merly Barlaan, who first touched my heart by introducing to me the living for the sake of others. And I told her before, after attending the leadership seminar, I told her, during that time, I'm still studying my master's degree. I told her, Ma'am Merly, after my graduation and my master's, I will start the Mother's Heart Network in Montalban. That's in 2015. Now, it's our 8th year. I think it's our 8th year, 2023. So we're getting stronger and still working on affecting our community and influencing other people. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having the courage to jump in unexpectedly. Very welcome and congratulations and all the best for your future. And again, thank you to Merly to inspire your people in your home country. And for me, it's like we're just topping the top of the iceberg, because there's so much knowledge, experience, and ideas behind still to everyone who was speaking. we made the 1.5 hours with talking. So I think there's not so much time for asking questions because it's been a long time and it's getting late. But we are really sharing, everybody's sharing his contact details in the chat. We can also collect and we can send it back to you so that everybody can connect with whom you feel you want to know more about. And I think with this experience today, we will support Merle Soquila if she says, let's make a meet and greet another time. It looks like it's been very inspiring. I hope not only for me, for every one of you. The feedbacks in the chat are very nice. Is there something very urgent, a very urgent question? I asked Irmgard Mentler, our colleague from Vienna, if she would look. So everybody sharing.
I think they listened very well, and I think that there were no questions in the moment, but everybody is inspired. So many nice feedbacks. Yeah.
I think we have kind of the okay from everybody talking that we share your contact details with those who have been here today, with those listeners. It looks like, because everybody shares. So thank you very much. Thank you so much. Now I'm fully awake. So no, I think we all are not sleepy now. We are fully awake. It was so interesting, so amazing, and such a fundus of ideas and inspirations. I really want to thank all the speakers. Also Mr. Petronella, Rose Polayo, who was not here but presented through Merle. We thank you for Sulva and Sola, and also special thank you to Her Excellency Daryl Midano, who represented the Philippine Embassy. You're still here? Is she still here? Maybe she is.
I'm still here, Renate.
Still here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
maybe you want to
she's
say
still
a short word to the end to conclude.
Yeah, well, thank you. I was really amazed with those sharings, especially from the young ones who are from the Philippines. I'm really proud. And yes, so well, on behalf of the Philippine Embassy and Mission here in Vienna, thank you so much for always being part of our activities as well. I remember Renate and some of the members of WFWP who went to the embassy to have a courtesy call to the ambassador before the ambassador Susi Natividad, who is now the ambassador in Berlin, and now with the new ambassador Evangelina Lourdes Bernas, you're still very, very active. So I want to say thank you very much for all the sharings that we had for tonight. I was really inspired. So that's all. Thank you, Renata.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We really appreciate very much. And I think we thank everybody for being here. And we say a good night, goodbye, but please stay on. And Lily will now turn on the very beautiful song that the Philippine young people prepared for us.
Someday you will join us, and the world is one.
Okay. Good night. Sleep well, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Renate.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.